Welcome to another episode of No Dick Pics Podcast. I'm Max.
I'm Christina, and we have Bijana with us. Welcome back, Bijana.
Thank you so much
Welcome.
for having me.
So for those of you who don't know Bijana is a licensed therapist. She's joined us a couple times before. The way we all know each other is a very funny story, but you can go back and listen to an old episode to find out how we all know each other. But Bijana's been a great part of the show in giving people amazing advice. We try to give advice when we can. We're not professionals, so Bijana comes in with the actual, helpful advice that,
Well, thank you. This is not therapy, but it is advice, which
Yes.
those two things are different. Sometimes they go together, sometimes they don't. So, But yeah, I try to help where I can. And I think some of the things that your viewers come to you with, a lot of people struggle with. There's a lot of people that struggle with relationship issues, dating issues, how to navigate that today. And so, yeah, I mean, anything that I can do to help you guys, I'm happy to do so.
Yeah, well, thank you. And people love you. So we're just going to have her on as much as we can.
Thank you.
So we have a few ideas. Yeah, we have a few ideas for other episodes. We were going to potentially do one tonight, but Max is a little distracted. Why are you distracted, Max?
Because it's the 2025 NFL Draft.
But you're podcasting.
And the Detroit Pistons are playing.
Oh my gosh.
So
you're such a dedicated host.
I'm half in.
Half in. Yeah, so we were going to potentially, and we will at some point, talk about couples therapy kind of topics. Not exactly couples therapy, but just dive a little bit deeper into what that looks like and what it means. And so on a future episode, Max is not watching TV.
Absolutely. I love doing couples therapy. It's always different. It's dynamic, and it's definitely different than doing individual therapy. So yeah, there's a lot, I guess, to talk about. And I mean, I can also talk about, the important aspects of couples therapy if somebody's considering doing it, and, what you need to keep in mind if you choose to do that.
Well, I hear a lot of couples will go to couples therapy before they get married, which I think is kind of... I heard that a few times, and I hadn't heard that before. I mean, this was a few years ago, but now I'm hearing it more and more, and it makes sense.
Some churches make you.
Yeah. No, it's a good idea to, check in with each other before, know, what to expect, or maybe some of the things that may become issues or disagreements or, just depending on each person's communication style, that factors into it. So if one person is very assertive in their communication style and the other person is more passive, that over time could become an issue. And so some of these things are good to talk about before, you actually develop an issue or a disagreement.
Yeah, I think it's always a good idea. I think therapy in general for anything. I know that there's a podcast I listen to. It's actually a true crime one. I don't know. It's called My Favorite Murder. I don't know why I forgot it for a second. It's one of my favorite shows. And they go to therapy together as co-hosts and as friends because they started the show as friends. They have this company together. And so to keep their relationship healthy, they go to therapy together.
Yeah, I mean,
to keep their working relationship healthy.
That's one of the most important things, in any relationship is communication, feeling heard, feeling comfortable with the person to, express your needs and opinions. So yeah, absolutely. I think some of the couples over the years that I've seen that really were the worst off are the ones that never fought, but never talked either. So
we talk, don't make that face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a reason not to fight. So that's something that people have brought up to us. There's no way you don't fight. And I'm like, no, it's not that we don't have conflict. It's that we don't argue about it. We don't yell at each other.
Yeah. I mean, they're not fighting because they're not saying the things that they're thinking. And, the things that are on your mind are going to be way worse than if you actually express your concern and get a chance to hear the other person's perspective, feedback, opinion. Um, yeah. So
It's not an issue we have, not saying things. We say all the things.
that's good. Say all the
Sometimes too
things.
much.
Yeah, we say it on here. We tell the
Yeah.
world.
Hmm.
All right, so we'll jump in. We got some listener questions because people are very excited that you are coming back. So we'll start with this one. It says, "Hi, Max, Christina, and Bijana. I love these episodes, so I'm really glad Bijana is back to answer more questions. I am a 38-year-old female, divorced with 2 kids. I've been dating my boyfriend for just over 3 years, and he's amazing. He's kind, thoughtful, great with my kids, which is so important, and everything you'd want on paper, but I'm just not drawn to him. Don't get me wrong, he's an attractive man, but I don't ever look at him and feel like I want to jump his bones. Our sex life is okay. Nothing amazing, but not bad. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with our relationship other than the fact that I feel like I'm settling in the bedroom. Sometimes afterwards, I think, is this the best I'm ever going to have again? It seems trivial to break up over something like this because dating is such a nightmare, and he really is a great guy in every other way. The subject of marriage has come up recently, and it feels like it would be stupid to say no over this, but it bothers me. But if it bothers me now, it will only bother me more in the future, right? Am I overthinking this, or is this eventually going to hurt our overall relationship?"
So I think to fairly answer her question, I'd have to have more information. Not drawn to him. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Is she not in love with him? Is that
That's
why?
interesting because she didn't say anything about love in that whole
Yeah.
message.
So, that's kind of the feeling I got when reading
Mm-hmm.
it, but, I could be wrong. She's saying the sex is okay, it's not bad. Again, why? Why is it okay? I mean, if she's not in love with him, it might be okay because she's not feeling it. He might not be
Mm-hmm.
doing anything wrong. She said he's attractive. So it's not clear to me what the disconnect is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if it's just, she has some preferences or that, he's not fulfilling in the bedroom, that's a conversation that they should have.
Right.
If she wants to be more excited about their sex life, that is something, there are strategies for that
Mm-hmm.
that, she can look into. But if it is a matter of not being in love with him or not, feeling that drawn to him in that way, that is probably going to be problematic because I can tell you I've had numerous female clients that have come in and said he's a great guy, but
Mm-hmm.
and when that happens, it's really, really difficult to get past. And what has happened with each of them is eventually they leave that relationship and are happier as a result, despite the fact that the guy was great. They can
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge, but I think a lot of times there's this guilt, like, why would I not be in love with this person when they're so fantastic in all of these ways? They're attractive, they're attentive. And I mean, there's not a good answer for that.
Yeah.
And as I said, there's some guilt there on the women's part, and they try to make that happen, and sometimes it just doesn't. Each situation is different, so I'd really have to have more information to answer her honestly. But if she felt like in love with him at some point and then didn't, I would ask why, what happened. If, it was a matter of he's great and I really have love for him. So, I want this to work and it has been working because he's fantastic in all of these ways, but I'm just really not in love with him. Don't marry him.
Right. Well, it sounds like she's like, well, I can't say no, can I? It's like, well,
Yes, and
do
you
you want
should
to say
because,
no? You know what I mean? Like,
it's
if
not,
that's your first thought,
yeah,
that's not great.
it's not fair to her or to him, to be in a situation where you're not completely happy. that
Yeah.
you feel like you're settling, right? I mean,
And that's it sounds like she thinks she's only settling like in the bedroom, but it sounds like she's settling overall because he is nice and he is a good guy and he's great with her kids. But the thing to me is like there's another podcast I listen to. I'm talking about all these other shows, scrubbing in. They talk about vagina tingles, and if she doesn't have them for him, and she hasn't in 3 years, I don't know that she's going to. You know, like if you're not excited about him now, are you gonna get excited about him eventually? Like it's been 3 years.
yeah, I agree.
Sounds like they haven't talked about any of this. So
Right. Well, and I think some people struggle with talking about sex. So that's
Yes.
fair. But like if you want something and you're kind of, she doesn't seem excited about it, then tell him because I'm sure he would love to know that.
And
but
what is she comparing it to, and what does she want? Yeah, that's the other question. Like, what is it that's missing? Is it being in love with him, or is it something
Mm-hmm.
else? Does she, feel like, he should be more assertive or more, interested, or what is it?
To me, it reads that she really likes him because she's supposed to like him.
Yeah,
And not necessarily because she wants to, because like she's like, well, he's great. But at no point, if you're together with someone for 3 years, you think you would mention love at some point in the question. She didn't at all.
right.
She talked about marriage, but didn't say anything about love. She said, I can't say no. It's dumb to say no because dating's a nightmare. It's like, that's not a reason to marry someone.
Yeah,
Yeah, dating's a nightmare, but don't marry someone because of it.
right.
So, yeah, I absolutely think if you're questioning this at all, don't say yes. Have a
And
conversation.
she said she was married before.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
she's a divorced mom. So, I don't know. We've talked about that on the show before. Like, getting divorced sucks. So, like, if you're gonna be with someone, and you're considering. I mean, it's considered it because they've talked about it.
Right.
Do you want to set yourself up for that again if you're like not sure just because he's nice?
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. Any thoughts, Max?
well, sometimes I think when after you get divorced, you expect like kind of like that love story, like, oh, I'm gonna meet that person, and he's gonna sweep me off my feet. And sometimes you just might have these expectations that are never gonna be met.
Hmm.
And so
That's a very
kind of
good
like
point. Yes.
maybe okay, she's like, I don't want to do this, so then she gets rid of him, and then she goes back out there and she realizes, oh shit, like what did I do? I let a good one go. So
And it sounds like that's her fear, though.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think obviously a conversation needs to be had.
Well, and the other question is, how long was she dating before she met him?
Yeah, she didn't say. But
Because
they
if
have
she
been
didn't
together
have
for
a
three
lot of
years.
experience dating, and she had, I mean, this is all, we're guessing
Guessing.
here,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's possible that if she didn't have enough experience, she was thinking about something else, in addition to all of these things that he provides. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's just not ready to be married again or to commit again.
And that's totally possible. And that's fair. And if that's the case, it's okay to say that. Because, like,
Right.
don't get married just because you feel like you have to because he's this amazing guy. Like, that doesn't mean you have to marry him.
and they've brought up marriage, so that's obviously they've talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
she probably
Well,
didn't
and
say
if
anything.
he's the one who brought it up, that's interesting. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it sounds like some guys, not Max, but some guys that's what they want. They want to get married again. They want to get back into that life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're looking for.
I'm out of that life.
Are you like technically you are?
What's that life, Max?
Married life.
How is that different from what we're doing
That's a good
besides a piece
question.
of paper?
I'm a lot happier than. Shouldn't
Well,
probably say that too loud. Yeah. No, I mean I've always said that like I I haven't completely like ruled it out. I mean I think if it works, it works. I always say like I'm not a I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of jumping back in again. But if it's that important to my partner, then I would
See,
definitely think about it.
But we've also talked about this, and we could talk about this in the couples therapy episode too. But like, I don't want you to do it because it's important to me. I want you to do it because you want to do it.
Yeah, the door's not closed. Like there's still, there is
Yeah.
possibilities, but like, I'd probably wait, until the kids are a little bit older and get my lake house in Tennessee.
I'm just chilling. I'm fine. That's why, I mean, we said that before. Like, it's come up, the conversation has, but like, he's not sure. And I'm not
Mhm.
gonna, I don't want him to, I feel like, and I don't want to speak for you, but it feels like your last marriage was because you kind of felt like it was time to do that. And I don't want you to feel like that this time. I want you to be like, I want to marry. I want to be with her. Not, she really wants it, so
Yeah.
I guess so. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really thought about it, but
Yeah, I mean, like, what is the advantage to not getting married if you're in a committed relationship and you see yourself with this person, um, you know, forever?
I know I've known. I mean, to me, it's like, why mess with something that's not broken?
Well,
I mean, I hear the arguments for both, but I've also known people that never got married, but they lived together and they had a life together,
Yeah.
and
I mean, we're good right now.
yeah. Well,
Everything's
I
fine.
think
Like,
I think partly too that has a lot to do with, um, you know, if you're more traditional in your view of relationships versus more modern. I think that has a lot to do with it. If you always envisioned yourself being married, if that's how you see yourself, that's going to be the natural choice for you if you're in a relationship. But if your thinking is different, then if you have two people that are you know have opposing views there,
mm-hmm.
you just come to some middle ground, I guess.
Yeah, and we've talked about it. Like, I don't have to get married again. Like,
Yeah.
if we do what we're doing right now, forever, I'm fine with that. Do I want to get married again? Yeah, because I want to have a wedding.
she wants to invite all 50 of her best friends, or
12,
50, 51. No,
maybe 13. I don't know.
Well, I
But
mean,
yeah, I mean, it's more than that too. But
yeah, of course it is. I mean, there's something to be said for a lot of people in that level of commitment. This is my
mm-hmm.
husband, this is my wife versus my partner or my girlfriend, boyfriend. It's just for a lot of people, it is meaningful in that way.
Yeah, yeah. But like he said, everything's really good right now. Like, I'm fine with not messing with it. Am I gonna feel the same way in like 3 years? We'll see. But for now, I'm good. I'm not in any rush right now. It's been like just over a year. Like, there's no need to freak out about it right now and be like, oh my god, when's it gonna happen? Like, I don't need that right this second.
and
Max
with all the
loves this
tariffs, the
conversation.
weddings would be too expensive.
Yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit. Okay. Oh, someone's gonna find us on Spotify. Please do. All right, next question. I'm hoping you can give me some motivation. And I'll say, before I start this one, we got a few like this.
Hmm.
So, not exactly the same, but
Yeah.
I had more than one that had a similar question.
Okay.
I'm hoping you can give me some motivation to not give up completely. I have had bad experience after bad experience after bad experience on dating apps. I've been ghosted more times than I can count, love bombed a few times, and just have had my feelings toyed with more times than I care to count. I just turned 50 and have been divorced for over 10 years and have yet to have an actual relationship develop from a decade of dating. I've tried apps, matchmakers, going to bars, speed dating, you name it, I've tried it. I'm honestly really lonely and I miss having a companion. I've always heard it's harder to be a man after 50, so my birthday felt like the final nail in the coffin for me. I am a strong woman. I can take care of myself. I don't need a partner, but I'd really like one, and it feels like it's never going to happen for me again. How do I stay positive and continue to put myself out there after so much rejection?
Yeah, this one bummed me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of people that do feel this way. It isn't an age thing either. A lot of people in their 30s feel this way, even in their
Mhm.
20s. It's just more challenging. But with this one too, I had some questions. She says she's had 10 years of dating. And 10 years, is a good amount of time to date, but how much dating is she doing in that 10 years? Is she going on dates every month for 10 years,
Right.
or has she gone on a date a year for the last 10 years? So she's tried apps, she's tried different things, but to what extent? I do think, and I've said this before, the apps are a blessing and a curse. It allows
Mhm.
you to have access to a lot of people that you may never meet, but it creates distance in that people are more likely to uh, break contact, not follow through, um, play games if that's their
Right.
jam.
And they're a little bit addictive now. They're a little bit like a game, and
Yes,
you're just
yes.
looking for people to validate you and compliment you and make you feel better about yourself. And then you're like, all right, next. you
So,
know.
my advice to her specifically is that 50 is nowhere near the time to stop dating if you want to do that.
Mhm.
There are plenty of great available men in their 50s. You just have to continue to try. And if, maybe even do something differently, like if, because I would have more questions for, like, is it like, what type of guy are you talking to? Are you reaching out on the dating apps? Or are you just waiting for them to reach out? What has
Mhm.
your dating experience been? How often, and what are the experience when you get to the date portion of it? Um, what is the age range you're dating in? A lot of ladies in their 50s are having luck with younger men versus the older ones. So
Mhm.
that's something you might want to consider if you have not done so already. I highly recommend. So uh, that's a thing. But yeah, I don't think that at 50 or at any age really, you should stop if this is something
Right.
that is important to you, because there is somebody for everybody. There are a lot of
Mhm.
people, in this area, that are also looking for the same things. I think, keep in mind that if it's not working out, she said she's been ghosted, right?
Mhm.
When that happens, it's not typically about you. There's
No.
a lot of that going on. So try not to take it personally and just think, okay, well, this person has shown themselves. You don't want somebody like that anyway that's going
No.
to,
Yeah.
not follow through or be considerate of you. Just think of it as them not wasting any more of your time and keep going. But I know it can get discouraging. It's easier said than done, but you have to limit the amount of time that you're spending on it, but be consistent with it, and know what your objective is. Every interaction is an experience until it's more. So
Mhm.
don't get your hopes up too much until you actually meet the person face to face. There is some connection or chemistry, um, because people can be good on paper or even
Mhm.
over the phone, but until you're standing or sitting with the person, you're not going to know whether there is that chemistry and that connection fully. But
Exactly.
yeah, don't stop doing it. Just pace yourself and know what you're able to do. If it's like, okay, I think I'm good with dating, once a week, once a month, that's okay. Limit how much exposure you have to the app so that you're not pulled in directions and then disappointed. And then, a lot of people jump on and off for that reason. Because it can be exhausting. But that would be my advice. Definitely don't ever give up. Uh, just realize that it does take time sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think change it up is important.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you said, it depends. Like if she's like on Tinder or whatever, then it's like, well, yeah, you're gonna, maybe. And we've always talked about on this show, like all the single parent groups and stuff. I mean, even though we kind of make fun of it, it is a good, a lot of people get to hang out and meet. Uh, I'm hearing more and more people. There's different groups, they'll be like like a softball group or like a running group
Yes,
or like a social activity group that
absolutely.
they just, you know, and that's what I would say is just change it up because if once you start doing it and it's not working, you kind of have to move on to maybe a different app, or if you want to spend some money, there are matchmakers out there too.
Sounds like she tried that. But
Did she
so
say
I
that?
but yeah, I love that advice though, because that's what Scott had told us on a previous episode. He said, do something you enjoy, join a
Right,
class, do
right.
something like that, and then you're with people
Mm-hmm.
who also enjoy the same thing, and you
Absolutely.
might just develop a friendship. You might just be, people who took a class together, but you might meet someone that way. You never
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think for me, I've seen a lot of women say what their parameters are, and they're very narrow.
Yeah.
So maybe widen it and give people a chance that are outside of maybe your age range or
Right.
your height preference or even location. Like if you're, really narrow on your location, maybe widen it up a little bit and
Yes.
just be open to more people. And you never know who you're going to meet that way. It could
Mm-hmm.
be the man of your dreams could be 1 inch shorter than what you're looking for. So,
Right. Absolutely.
yeah, that's great advice. Not, I mean, from you, Biana. I mean, we're okay too.
Thank you.
All right. So, last question. And I like this one because I relate to this.
Mm-hmm.
I did when I was dating. I don't still. But hi. Hi with an exclamation point. That's a very Christina.
Validation.
Yeah. I am fairly new to dating after being in a relationship for 12 years. I've been single for almost 2 years and I just started dating about a year ago. I'm a 31-year-old woman. I've never been married, no kids, but I do want them. I've been told I'm too much by pretty much every guy I've ever dated in the last year. I get overly excited, super clingy. I'm anxious attachment style for sure, especially since my last relationship ended because my ex cheated on me. I want to talk all day, every day. I want them to be just as excited about me as I am about them. And it appears to be scaring guys off. How do I chill out without losing who I am? I'm an outgoing person. I have a lot of energy and I love putting it into people I care about. So I don't want to stop being me completely, but I know something has to change so I don't scare a guy off before he gets to know me. I appreciate your help. It
Okay.
sounds like I wrote this.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that and that's great. She shouldn't change who she is because that
mm-hmm,
is who she is. But you want to give it a minute when you first start dating someone. But you can tell too who's on that same level. Just a lot of people just aren't. So if somebody's like avoidance and wants to talk to you once a month or text you for, months before they meet you, and you're like, hey, let's talk every day, let's FaceTime, let's meet, it's not going to work. That person's just
mm-hmm,
not going to be for you. Um, and I mean, you could chase them down possibly, but do you want to? I don't know.
right.
Um, but you do want to pace yourself so that you don't encounter people that are just doing it for your sake or for other reasons. You want to like ease into that and talk to them as frequently as you want, but don't speed up the relationship too much in the very beginning. Let it kind of naturally progress and match their energy. If they're texting you, if they're available and want to text you and you're liking that, then go ahead. If they're, like, as just watch what the pattern is. If they're texting you once a day or twice a day and then you're meeting up once a week, then just match that until it gets to the next level where, you can talk about, like, this is what I need in a relationship. I'm very, interactive and I
Mm-hmm.
require the same. And, if they can't do it, they can't do it.
Yeah. And it's only been a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, from my experience, because I'm, like I said, it sounds like I wrote this, but like I was told pretty much every guy I dated before Max said I was a lot. They're like, you're a lot. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, and I can be for some people.
A lot.
But for the
Why?
right person, I just like want a lot of attention and I like to communicate a lot and I want to see someone a lot. And I just, I get really excited about things. And they did too. But then eventually they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then they would end things. And that was becoming a pattern. And I'm like, cool, this is awesome. But then I meet Max, and
But you didn't stop being who you want.
Yeah.
I
no,
feel like she hasn't met someone that can match her own energy.
Right.
right.
She's met some duds, and like I said, it's barely a year. I mean, I had that after about a year or two. I was just like, I was convinced, like, you know what, I'm probably not going to meet anyone. But then, yeah, because if you start change, like you said in the beginning, don't change for anyone. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Well,
No,
because
you'll
you're gonna
find
be
your
yourself
person.
eventually.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
find your person, and if you try to change for somebody else and dampen the pizzazz that is you, you're going to regret it. So, yeah, if you're too much for some people, you'll be just the right amount for somebody else.
exactly. And like that's what happened here. Like I met Max, and he's like, I don't think you're too much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Because I mean, my best friend tells me I'm a lot. He's like, Christina, you're a lot. I'm like, you still like me though. So, but Max is like, I don't see that. I don't. I mean, do you now?
No, I wouldn't call you a lot. I mean, you like to. I mean, you like to communicate, and that's good.
Yeah.
And you kind of tell me what's on your mind all the time, which is fine because you don't. I don't want you coming home and just kind of going on the couch and like, because that's my job. But no, I'm joking.
Well, and
No,
it's
but
nice too because then, you don't have to it's more work if somebody doesn't want to communicate or, isn't
Mm-hmm.
that way. So it lets you also sit back a little bit and not have to um, do as much of that because, you're just going to be like going on her pace versus trying to make sure that you're engaging with her. She's always going to engage with you, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
you're having conversations versus feeling like, oh, I need to put in the work or the time.
So something I did this helped me a lot because I'm an overtexter
Mm.
and I get very excited. My friends helped me. They helped me be like cool.
Hmm.
Like for the first like few inter few interactions, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the cool girl. I'm not. I'm like, hi,
Yeah.
But you want to get in the door and then eventually get to know them. And the people who are going to like you for you are going to like you for you.
Hmm.
And if you hide that, it's going to come out eventually. You can't hide it forever.
Right.
So, like, you just be yourself, and the right people are going to like you regardless.
Yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, I would say just keep doing it. And I remember thinking that after like breakups, I was like, I'm still just going to be me and keep doing what I'm doing because this is who I am.
Right.
So, like, why would I change that just because this dude didn't like it? Obviously, I'm
Hmm.
not with him anymore, you know?
Yes.
So, I think just keep doing what you're doing. And if you feel like you're coming on too strong, have your girlfriends get your board of directors together. Drop it in the group text and be like, how do I
and
respond to this and not sound crazy?
she's fairly young too, right?
Yes.
31.
Oh, yeah, she's young.
Well, and
So,
I hear a lot of women, younger women in particular, not be themselves or say what's on their mind because they don't want to come off as too much or
mm-hmm.
crazy or clingy or needy. And I'm like, no, say all the things and do all the things
Yes,
because
be yourself.
yes, if you don't want anything physical until you have a relationship, say that. If they don't
Mm-hmm.
like it, they're not for you. Then keep it moving.
Exactly.
You know,
And
if
men don't fall in love because of sex. So,
right,
if you think that's how you're going to get them, it doesn't
right,
work.
yeah,
Yeah. But it's interesting because like I feel like I did that with me and Max in the beginning. I wanted to be like the perfect girlfriend. And so I'm like, I'm going to be perfect all the time. And I think he got tired of it eventually. And he's like, okay, sure. And the minute I like dropped that, and the minute I just like because I was always me, but like I was trying really hard to be like
hmm,
the best.
Well, and that's
And
kind of anxiety provoking too,
right.
because you want to please him, you want to make him happy.
Mm-hmm.
And, like there's a lot of anxiety underneath that, trying to not do something that is not ideal for him.
Right.
Um, but yeah, you're right. You can't do that forever. You have to
Well,
feel
the minute
comfortable
I
too.
dropped that, the minute like we broke up, and the minute I like let that go, and I was just
Mhm.
myself, he's like, "You did something to me," and I'm like, "I'm just being myself now. I just don't care anymore."
Yeah.
I'm just not trying to be this like perfect girlfriend. I'm just being me. And once I did that, he was like, "Wait a minute, wait, something's different here," and that's what
Just
it
don't give me
was.
shingles and we're good.
Oh my god, I didn't give you shingles.
I know. It was just a coincidence.
I blame the dog.
You got shingles from the dog?
I think the stress of having a dog,
Oh. Hmm.
because he didn't have one for a while.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still feel like I don't have one.
Oh, she's a potato. You
Yeah.
got this one.
She's on Prozac, so
She
The
is.
dog? Yeah.
yeah.
She is. And but then we brought this one
Oh.
here, and she's a little crazy. So now you
Oh, so
have
cute.
a crazy dog because I brought
My
Maggie
daughter's like,
here.
she's really dumb. And I'm like, you can't say that.
Are you dumb? Sometimes.
Yeah. My kids told me that they think one of my dogs, is special. I'm like, yeah.
She just runs into the door, like throws her whole body into it. It's
Mhm.
fine. It's fine. You're pretty.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was I figured we'll just stick with those questions. And there like again, there are a few like that last one where people are like, I get too excited and that's why they get their feelings hurt. And
Hmm.
I think in those cases, you just gotta like slow down a bit and not dive in so quickly and
But I think everyone gets
expect
so excited when you have a match, and you're like, oh,
yes. Especially if you've
but
gone on a lot of bad dates and you finally meet someone that you click with and it's really easy to get excited about that
Yeah.
person.
Well,
But
and it's
like
and it's fun to be excited. And
mhm,
so I guess remember that. Remember each, component of this. Enjoy being excited, but no, like I'm not going to know if this is like worth anything for at least 6 weeks or so of regular
mhm.
talking to this person. So keep a timeline in mind that you're not really going to know whether it's moving in the right direction for a nice chunk of time. So get
Great
excited,
advice.
but don't run face first into the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't be Maggie.
Yeah.
Throw your whole body into the door. But yeah, and then it's fair because like I get it too. Like you get really excited when you meet someone that you really like, but you don't know them yet, even if you feel like you do. And that's another thing that from the show, I love the show that, people are showing their best version of themselves. You're not
Hmm.
seeing everything about them, and it's going to take time to see that. And so it's
Yes.
exciting when someone's telling you everything you want to hear. And you're
Well,
amazing, and they
and
do
a
all these
lot of
wonderful things.
what we're really into is like we are projecting, what we think they are or what they're showing
Hmm.
us onto this person. So it's an idea still, because you're right, you don't know the
Right.
person. Um, and I spoke to somebody recently where they still, even though the person is showing them in a relationship that they're not what she thought they were, um, she continues to be like, well, but I'm in love. And I'm like, well, but what are you in love with when, these are the problems in the relationship? These are, the issues, and you seem upset a lot of the time. What exactly do you love about him? I'm like,
Hmm.
I think you're in love with the idea of what you think
Yes.
he is or what you thought he was, and he's not that.
There was something I heard on my way home, and they were talking about the difference between being in love with a person, like really in love with a person,
Hmm.
and being with someone that you want to change and how it's different.
Hmm.
If you're with someone and you want to change things about them, you're not really in love with that person. You're in love with who you want them to be
Right.
and who you think they can become when you
Right.
change them. But when you're with someone that's the right person for you, you don't want to change them.
Right.
You just like them for who they are.
Yes.
I also think a lot of people, like with how dating is today, if you just meet someone decent, they talk themselves into like, oh yeah, this will be fine, this will be fine, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you still can't settle. It's got to be, it's got to be the right fit. Because if
Yes.
that's what I think that's what it is. Because you hear a lot of people like, I don't want to go back in the dating, the dating world because it's crazy. So I'm fine.
That first question said that. She's like, dating's such a nightmare right now. Why would I break up with this wonderful guy? Like, well, if you're not that into him, you know,
Yes.
you're missing. And that's another thing. I feel like if you're seeing someone and you're in a relationship with someone, and something's missing for you, or you just don't have like the vagina tingles over this guy or whatever it is, you're missing out on someone that could give you that by staying in a relationship with a guy who you're just like, he's just great, but that's fair. He could be great, but
And
it
I
doesn't
mean
sound like he's great for her.
that, yeah, and that's a real struggle people have. As I said,
Mm-hmm.
I've had numerous women with that same dilemma where they're with a good guy, but they're just not in love with them.
Mm-hmm. And the person you could be falling in love with could be out there,
Yes.
and you're missing it because you're with the good guy, but that's all he is just a good
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, that's all the questions.
Okay. Hmm.
So we're gonna have Biana back for a couple episodes. So we have one with actually one of Jared's friends, Jason, is going to come on, and we're going to talk about issues that men have in dating. And
Okay.
I think a lot of our like all these questions were from women, so I
Yeah.
think it's going to be great to have a conversation with a guy and talk about the issues that he faces and kind of give some of our female listeners some perspective from a male point of view
Yeah. That's
to
great.
see like where he struggles and what
Well, and I
he
think
could
it's
do.
good too to hear that perspective, just to know that it's not only women that struggle. Men are having,
Yes.
their own set of struggles when it comes to dating, and also to hear that like they're hopeful to find the right person and love and a
Mm-hmm.
connection too. So it's not, it's not one sided. So hearing both sides, especially when it comes to like the apps and online dating, is really useful.
I'm not crying, by the way. My eyeball leaks.
We've talked about that. We've had so many women on that we got to
Yeah.
start having some men on to talk about too, because it's
Yeah.
just the crazy, and that's the thing. The craziness is happening on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So we have that coming up. We'll schedule that to have Jason on and have a discussion with you about just some of the challenges that men in general face, and
Mm-hmm.
then whatever specific things he wants to talk about. And then we're gonna do our couples therapy one.
Okay.
But we're gonna do it, and Max can give us his full attention and not have a TV on that you can see reflecting on your face every now and then.
I haven't been looking up in a while, so I'm gonna
I'm
let
really
it
proud of you.
surprise me.
But I also thank you for like wanting to podcast during the draft. That's huge.
Yeah.
Because I'm like going over schedule. He's like, no, we'll do it. It's fine. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well,
You,
okay.
you didn't seem distracted. You did good.
we don't have availability this weekend,
No,
so
we don't. And we had availability last week and we still didn't do it. So
I never want a podcast, but then once I get
I
going,
know.
I love it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's like,
always
we'll
it's
do it on
getting to that
Saturday,
point.
and then we didn't do it.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's rough.
You
So
guys are busy, so
yeah, we are excited to have you back again, and
thank you. Thanks for having me.
yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We'll call it a night.
Okay.
It was
Sounds
easy
good.
all right.
peasy.
Sounds
Have a
good.
good night.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Next time. All
yeah.
right. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye. That was great. I love having her
It
on. She
was.
gives really good advice. I love the 6 weeks thing. Like, before you get overly excited about a person, give it 6 weeks before you're like, I'm in love with this person. Because it's really easy to feel like you're in love with someone, but you're not. You don't know them. Like, you know what you want them to be
I
because you
just
don't
I
know
I
them.
think though I mean everyone gets excited, you know.
Yeah.
I know you because I don't text a lot, but like in the beginning, I would text a lot, because the
Yeah.
kid,
You tricked me.
I'm not much of a well,
You.
it depends how my day's going, like with work, but I try not to like I usually leave my phone at my desk a lot of the
Yeah.
times.
We also
not
live
on
together,
purpose. Just yeah,
so
huh?
we
Oh
also
yeah.
live together. If we didn't, it'd be a little different. We
But
would probably
like
talk
for me,
more.
like when we were dating, right? And like I had to get the
We're
kids to
still
bed and
dating.
stuff. I know, but like when we were apart, right? Like
Right.
you were at your house, and then I would always have like, and sometimes I just didn't want to call, but I
Mm-hmm.
still wanted to talk to you. But it's just like I'm in bed, like I just want to like watch TV for like a half hour until I pass out. And sometimes I think you took it as like, oh, he doesn't want to talk to me. And it's not that. I just like, and that's why I said, just call me. I'll answer the phone and stuff. But
I like to be chased.
I'm just like, I just I ran around with two kids till 8:30.
Yeah.
Then they're in bed. I just took a shower. I have like, yeah. So
Well, it's funny
I mean,
because, like,
yeah, it's not excuses, but now we don't have to do that.
no, we don't.
You just jibber jabber in my ear, and I'm like, all right, sounds good.
You love it. When I'm quiet, you're like, what's wrong?
Because you're never quiet, and that's good. I don't want you quiet.
But it's also cute because
What's the fun about that?
we
Because
also,
I
like,
love to talk too.
I know you
Like
do.
growing up,
We all know this.
growing up, my mom said like she's like the best thing is I had you because your father would eat and then leave. And so like I was always at the dinner table with my mom, so she was like we talked all the time, and so that's how I've always been. Like the dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and then like with the kids, like they never want to talk at dinner. It's just like, all right. I mean, my daughter does. She's more like me.
Sometimes. I don't know. Your son
Yeah.
does too. If he doesn't have a phone, which we don't allow at the table anyway, but like if he's not distracted by something, he's very talkative. Like in the car, if the times I've picked him up when he doesn't have his phone, he just talks the whole way home. When he has his phone, he doesn't say anything.
Just check on the draft. I don't know even what they're up to. Sorry.
That's okay. So yeah.
The Pistons are gonna lose. Ugh, that's all right.
Oh,
They had their
like
first
is
playoff
this
win since
it?
2000. Remember we were talking about this? They had their first playoff win since 2008. Like that, 2008. That's crazy. So I have to. I don't know what they're up to now. So I'll check it out. The
Yeah.
Bears got the tight end from Michigan, so I'm kind of torn. Like he's gonna be really good, but I don't want him to be too good for the Bears.
So this is the thing for all the ladies listening who don't care about this stuff. I love that he talks about this stuff because I work with a lot of men and they'll hang out and talk and they're always like near my desk because the guy that everyone comes to talk about sports sits right next to me. And so they'll all come hang out and start talking and I can chime in now because I'm like, oh, I know what they're talking about. So this is useful information. This is a tool so you can talk to guys.
So here's the thing that we talked about the other day, just us two, and everyone was always like, "Oh, you," because I love sports and wrestling so much, right? So everyone would ask like, "Well, don't you ever want to meet someone that loves them as much as you?" And I go, "No, because we'd have like strong opinions." And I told you, I'm like, actually, what we have is good because you're not really into sports and you never watched wrestling until
Mm-hmm.
when we met, and now it's rubbing off. And I don't expect you to watch it all the time, but you enjoy watching it with me, and it's kind of cool because I can like educate you on it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this, and this is this, and it's cool. And you're not one of those like, well, why is that guy not have the ball? Well, why is that But you and it's kind of fun because you get to learn different things that you never thought you would ever be talking
Yeah.
about or learning. And I don't expect you to like love football or love wrestling because
It's
that's fine. That's
honestly
kind of
really fun being able to jump into these conversations with my coworkers and be like, "Hey, I know stuff too. You can include
yeah.
me in all this." So it's like I don't know, it's fun. And for me, the thing that I want to learn more about because I am a giant nerd is I love analytics and I love things like that. Just because I'm in the math world. I've got my degree in
You should
accounting.
gamble. We should gamble. That's what we need to
That's what
do.
I'm saying. I want to learn more about it because I know a lot about statistics. I know a lot about things like that. And like, I feel like my math knowledge and your sports knowledge could maybe make some money. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of podcasts on VSiN, which is the sports gambling, and just the some of these guys that come on and just like how they driven they are, and just
Mm-hmm.
like the amount of research they do is ridiculous. But that's what
And I love stuff like that. So like, that's why I
and
want to learn more because I
that's the
feel
whole
like,
argument now with sports because analytics has taken over. but there's sometimes they're like sometimes it's too much analytics and not enough like opening your eyes and watching what the
Right.
guy can do. And that's what's so fun about the NFL draft. So it's such a crapshoot. No one knows who the hell is going to be good, and I don't care what people say. No one knows anything because you don't know how this guy's going to develop in 2, 3, 4 years, if he's going to be hurt or not. But everyone thinks they know everything, and so they just, and that's what's fun. It's like everyone, it's funny. Everyone after the draft never thinks their team did bad, but there's going to be a lot of teams that did bad, but you don't know because you're excited. You're like, and this is how the NFL is marketed the draft. It's like a 3-day event now. It's huge, and now they're going to other cities. It used to always be in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're going to other cities. Last year in Detroit was insane. This year
So
in Green,
is it crazy in Green Bay? Because I haven't
it's
actually
crazy in
looked at the
Green
TV.
Bay, but I mean, it's
Are
like
they
it's
doing
Green
as big of
Bay.
an event like Detroit did?
No, because they don't have enough people there because they don't have enough hotels in the area. I
Oh.
mean, you're going to have to drive there probably from a couple hours just to go to it because they don't have that many places to stay. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure it's more like a lot of local people around there.
I had
But when it
no
was like
idea
in
how small
Detroit,
Green Bay was until I went there. I was like, whoa, this is
yeah,
not like a city.
when you're in like Detroit, Chicago, a lot of these bigger cities like Philadelphia and Nashville, they all have, it's a city, so they have the
Mm-hmm.
hotels and the restaurants and stuff. So I mean, Green Bay will put on a good show, but I mean, yeah, it's fun. You get to so if it's in Green Bay, it can be anywhere. I remember when it was Chicago, it was awesome. I mean, it's been awesome everywhere. So
Where's it
they
next? Do you know where it's going to be next year?
no. I always wanted to go to the draft when it was in New York because it was in like kind of a small area, but nowadays it's just too many people. I mean, you think Lollapalooza and stuff is crowded. Jeez, I mean, I
Yeah,
think Detroit had over 250,000 people for the
it
three
was
days combined.
nuts.
Yeah,
My friend Sean went and sent us some pictures, and it was wild. So he had a great time.
yeah, it's
All right,
crazy.
so we can wrap it up. So, we're having Bijana on, like we said, she's going to come back. So if you have any more questions, let us know and send them in. You can also send me a video or a voice memo, and we can play your question on air. If you send me a video, I'll just use the sound. I'm not going to use the image unless you want me to. And yeah, if you have any questions, let us know, and we'll ask Bijana. Or we also do little segments with just me and Max. So if you want non-professional advice, we love to answer questions.
We can call her our in-house therapist.
Yes. Yeah. So she'll be back if you have questions you want some advice on from an actual therapist, send them our way and we will ask Bijana. And if you want to have a conversation, we did that once before. It was great. So she has questions, as you heard. So if you come on, you can answer the questions and she can give you a more developed answer based on what you say. So if you'd like to come on and have a discussion with us and discuss your issue with Bijana, even better, reach out to us, let us know. Also, if you want to be on an episode of Love Connection, we are thinking about doing it again. So send me basically your dating app. Send me screenshots of your dating app, or like give me the information that you would put on your dating app, and we'll see what we can do. I've had
We want to
a few responses, so I just need more. So keep sending
we
them
want to
in.
get more. Like we said earlier in the show, we want to get more guys on here too to kind
Mm-hmm.
of because we have a lot of women talking about the dating stories, and we have a couple people we have an idea of lining them up. But like, yeah, if you're a guy and you want to kind of like, hey, and it doesn't even have to be about a crazy dating story. It could just be about dating in today's
Mm-hmm.
in 2025 and how it would even kind of be cool to get someone that's kind of like been doing it for a little, not a little bit, but like maybe like 5 or 6 years, and the difference it was when they first started dating and now, and maybe
Yeah.
because I think there's a whole, I mean, yeah,
I mean, how is it different for you? Because you dated for like what, like 4 or 5 years before you met me? Was it 4 years? I think it was 4 years
yeah.
when you met me. How did it
I
change
mean,
for you?
just the more you know. I mean, in the beginning, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure like what apps and what to do and stuff, and by the end, I'm just like I had it down to like I knew a scam right away. I was doing this because
Yeah.
you're just your eyes. You're always certain because you don't. I always had that mindset like I just don't trust anyone, so they got to prove to me that they're like a legit and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you hear everyone gets ghosted. That's fine, and I don't think it's even because of you as a person. I just think people are just lazy, or people just be like, I want to do. A lot of people don't like to have that tough conversation, so it's just easier just to be like, hey, I'll delete them and I won't talk to them.
It's such a like, I don't know. I don't want to
It's
say
a
the wrong
it's
word. It's a
it's
bitch
weak.
move,
Yeah, it's weak. And some people,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had times where it's what they call the fizzle, when both people just stop talking, and you can't
I
really
think that's
blame.
fair. If you send a text and it's like, it's weak, it's like, yeah. And then they don't respond, and then you don't respond either. You don't send anything following up. Neither of you are feeling it.
Yeah,
That's happened. But I think if you're not interested in someone and they're having an active conversation and you're just like, I just don't want to talk to them anymore, just tell them. Be like, you know what, this isn't for me. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to go into it. You don't have to be like, you're short, your hair's weird. Look, it's making me cry. Why is it tearing up so much today?
and then
But
also like you have to go into the mentality like you're dating, everyone's dating, so people are going to be dating multiple people, and it's okay.
yeah,
Like you have to take
that
that
happened to me
like
more than once. It happened to me where a guy I had matched with, I was talking to him like just a couple like back and forth, and he goes, "You know what? I'm really sorry. I know I matched with you, but I'm really hitting it off with someone else, so I'm gonna see what happens there. But good luck to you." And I'm like, "Cool. Thank you for letting me know." That's exactly what I said to him. I'm like, "Thank you for saying something. Good luck to you. Wish you nothing but the best." Like I don't care. Like my feelings aren't hurt because he wants to pursue something with someone else. He had talked to me. He had said 2 words to me. Like I'm like, cool, whatever, you know.
one of the greatest things for me is just being off the apps for like 8 9 months. It's just
Mm-hmm.
such a just the it's like
And maybe that last, or no, the middle person, the person who's struggling with dating. Um, Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you just take a break.
that's what I used to do during like
Yeah,
the winter. I would be like I would take I remember the one time I took like 6 months off, and I just like it was great, and I'm just like, oh, and I remember I was like, I don't want to get back on them, and it's just
yeah,
like, yeah. But there's so many other like places to meet people, and we always would say, oh, well, you can't meet them organically. You can. It just
yeah. You
depends.
can absolutely. I think so many people are getting tired of dating apps that more people are open to meeting organically now. I was listening to something on my way home from work today, and they were talking about dating apps and how um, one of the hosts of the show met her husband in 2019, and the woman she's talking to was like, "Yeah, that was like the end of a era. Like it's very different now than it was in 2019. It's so overused now and people are so addicted to them and people aren't using them to meet people, they're using them to get validation. People are
That's when I
addicted to
started
the
dating.
validation.
2000. I think it was 2019,
Yeah,
2019,
but
20ish.
people are addicted to the validation. That's the reason I met you, because my feelings were hurt and I was looking for someone to validate me, and that's not healthy at all. It worked out. Like I'm fine, but
But
like
you kind of, and sometimes you just gotta give it a shot. Like, man, I hope this works. I hope this doesn't work. And it's just
right.
like, so
I think knowing what you're getting yourself into and knowing that people don't always use it with the best intention and people are just, you know, bored sometimes and that's what they're using apps for. As long as you know that going into it and you're not every person you meet's your next husband, I think setting realistic expectations is going to help you. I think
yeah,
if you're like, I'm going to get to know this person, if it turns into a conversation, if it turns into a date, great. If not, whatever. I
yeah,
kept myself busy for a night, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, babbling again. Please be sure to rate and review us. Subscribe to us if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to our podcast on any of the podcast apps, make sure you follow us so you get notifications every time a new episode comes out. Um, and yeah, that's all I got. So, we'll be back next week. Promise. We don't have an episode for next week yet, but we're going to do it.
I'll figure one out.
Yeah. Well, I have an idea, but we haven't actually recorded it yet. But we will be back next week, I promise. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Bye.